And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought, corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway. Radicalized.
You know, I did a video a while back about the New World Order. If you haven't seen it, check it out, because it really pertains to what I'm going to talk about now. The New World Order, do you know what that means? A lot of you don't know what it means. And if you don't know what it means and you're voting for Donald Trump, I think you better learn what that means and what it's all about. Because it has a lot to do with what happened after World War II, and the world all came together to decide who is going to run this planet and who is capable of doing it. And the way it's been so far is the United States basically proved they could, and they have since. But there's been a lot of changes in this world, and with those changes, people have been starting to question, is the United States really capable of continuing to lead the world, to be number one in everything? And guess who stood up and said, nope? The good old leader of China. He's starting to get a little bit restless, and he's thinking, you know what, I don't think the world needs to be led by the United States anymore. And then there's been a couple of other dictators that said, you know what, I think you're right. And guess who those dictators are? The dictator from Russia, Vladimir Putin, and the dictator from North Korea. They all say, you know, it's about time that this joke of a country, the United States, they don't seem to be proving themselves anymore. And we're kind of proving them right. Because as they're having meetings, which they have, those three leaders got together and said, you know, we need to start taking some notes and putting some things down in writing of how we feel and what we think the New World Order should be. And for those of you that don't know about this, you should be very, very concerned. Because what's happening on this planet right now, and what I'm saying, please take some time to investigate. Don't go to your slanted media and start asking them about this, because they need to sell advertising. So they're going to say, oh, no. We're okay. And our leader, whoever that's going to be, he's the one for you. But why you should be concerned about this is because our planet is now going through a change. And the change is, it's going to be between authoritarian countries and democracy countries. Who's going to win out on this country or on this world? And if you start really digging deep into the latest news and headlines and things that have been going on in this world, there are some countries that are slowly changing from democracy to authoritarian. Authoritarian are dictator leaders. And in most cases, and if not all cases, dictators are one person. And a dictator, basically, in most of these authoritarian countries, they're pretty much corrupt. And they want everything to go exactly the way that one person wants. And it could be pretty disgusting. They make the choices, and it's personal decisions. And if you don't like it, well, there's some opportunities. So this is what's happening on this planet now. So these three leaders are starting to write down some plans of what would it be like if more and more countries become more dictatorship, more authoritarian. And they're starting to think about it. And they're thinking, well, right now the United States is a hot mess. They can't get along with each other. They're fighting each other. They're completely divided in half, which we are. And they're paying attention to their little freaky politics right now. And their media is keeping them enthralled in all of this. This is kind of a good time to start thinking about how we can start changing the world a little bit. And don't think Donald Trump knows nothing about this. Don't think Donald Trump is like, wow, dictatorship, authoritarian, revenge. You don't think he doesn't think that? You don't think he's on top of it? Let me tell you something, he's not. But those people behind him that are working behind the scenes, running him like a puppet. See, all Donald Trump needs is his ego to be fed, his narcissism to be fueled. He's happy for people to just praise him. He's the perfect type of dictator that a group of people that want to start an authoritarian country, they like him because he's easy to manage, and all you have to do is send him off to a hate rally and get a bunch of people to chant out your name, and he'll do whatever you want. You don't think that's not been happening in this country with him? Usually, a diplomatic, democratic leader, he'll be a big part of decision making, and he'll be a part of making sure that the people of his country are taken care of. And he makes a lot of decisions. A dictator like a Donald Trump, all he wants is his ego to be fed, his narcissism to be fueled up, and he's a happy man. And if you tick him off, you don't do that, then he goes after you. And that's what a good authoritarian dictator will do. And he loves dictators. He absolutely loves them. Back when he was in office and between 2016 and 2020, when he saw those dictators having their military parades and showing off their bullets and missiles, he said, I want one. I would love to stand there and wave as the military goes by and honors me. That's what dictators think of. That's what they do. So he wants to be a part of this new change that's happening. He may not know fully what's going on, but the people around him, his upcoming cabinet, the Stephen Millers, and if you don't know about Stephen Miller, and if you don't know who he is, what he's all about, and his background, look it up online. Google Stephen Miller. Get in depth of who this guy is. He's dangerous, and he's operating Donald Trump's strings. Donald's is there like, put me in front of my rallies, in front of my guys, and I'm happy. And Stephen Miller is doing a lot of the behind the scenes work. And he knows what's going on in this world. He knows what's happening. So you need to look at this as a whole of what's going on worldwide. You need to look at what's going on in our country. You need to see the plans that are coming up for 2025. You need to understand the plan that Trump has, which is called, I believe it's called America 2025 or something like that. They've already put this in motion. The wheels are turning. The people that are going to be a part of the cabinet and be a part of this group, they have to agree to what their plans are. It's a dangerous situation. And for you, MAGA, you're hopeless. There's nothing at this point I can say to you that you're going to change your mind because you're a part of this cult machine. I could go on and on until 2 days from now, continuing to talk about a lot of facts, quote unquote facts, and you're not going to believe it. But all you have to do is you can go online, look at some reputable stories, some international stories, read some articles from media that have no interest other than reporting the news, unbiased news headlines about what is happening. And you're going to see not only what's happening worldwide, the things like with the meetings with China and Russia and North Korea, but you're also going to see plans with Donald Trump and his crew for 2025 if he becomes president. I mean, look at Tucker Carlson. This moron knows what's going on. He's been pushing Russia for I don't know how long. This guy goes to Russia, brings a camera crew with him, like he's doing some kind of tourist video, showing how amazing Russia is, and wouldn't it be beautiful if the United States was just like this?
There we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here, and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment.
He goes into the subways and says, look, no graffiti. He goes into grocery stores. Look how organized all the aisles are. He picks up a loaf of bread and sniffs it. Look, in Russia, they have fresh baked bread. This guy is out of his, he is control. He is totally bonkers, out of control. It was like he was doing a Russia travel video. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, put in Tucker Carlson in Russia. I sat there and watched this thing with my mouth wide open like, what in the hell is this guy doing? He was totally pushing Russia as though it was a completely better country than the United States. He was trying to sell Americans on this is the way we can be if Donald Trump becomes president. He was trying to sell it. Watch it online. Go to YouTube, Tucker Carlson in Russia. It'll just, and once again, MAGA folk will go to it and see it and they'll say, you know what? That does look a lot better than the United States. But all this stuff is rolling right now. All this stuff is happening right under our noses. But the problem is we're so focused on fighting each other, Democrats against Russians, against Republicans. We're infighting. We're divided. All of this is going on, and the other countries around the world are looking at us like, now is the time. Let's take advantage of this. These guys have their own problems to deal with. Let's start making plans. This country is going to collapse. We'll love it. And they're a big part of a lot of this, these conspiracy theories, and they're doing a lot of bots and things in our social media to continue to make us fight in and out. So all of this is happening. And with all of this in mind, this is going to carry over to the 2024 election in November. So we have a choice. That choice is simple. Are we going to fall into the authoritarian dictatorship side of this planet? Or are we going to keep democracy alive like a lot of other countries are doing? It's our decision. So the election this year really has a lot more to do and other than just voting for a president this year. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, oh my God, this guy and his conspiracy theories, he sounds bonkers right now. All I can say is you can do your own investigation. You can look into exactly what I've been talking about. Do your homework and see what's going on. By you doing that, investigating by yourself, doing the investigating yourself without relying on slanted media, you're going to see that pretty much everything I talked about, everything I stated is true. There's facts, there's articles, there's stories. You'll see the background of it all. So with that in mind, keep an open mind, learn about it, get the facts, and it all comes down to November. Who are you going to vote for? Democracy or autocracy? Authoritarian, nationalism, or Democrat? Thank ya.